Yeah. Welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone had a happy Sunday. Y'all pray for me. I'm trying to work through my sinuses. I had gotten better throughout the day, but it's something about the evening time these past couple of days. I don't know if the temperature drops, but oh my gosh, ears itching, eyes itching, everything's just itching, throat itching. And then I'm good up in the day. I'm like, okay, I got to press through my live because I've been wanting to touch on this topic. So let's see who we have here so far. Good evening, Lolita is in the building. Thank you for joining, sis, and thank you for being first in the building. Hi, Rebecca. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Hey, Robert, welcome again. I saw Robert this morning too. Hi, Pam. She said, hi, Obi, and everyone. It's almost 10 here, but I'm going to watch as much as I can laying in the bed. Uh-oh. Now you're laying in the bed. I don't know. Thank you, Pam. Because that's the bad position for me. When I'm in that position, I say, oh, I'm going to watch a little YouTube. Baby, I'm gone within 5 minutes, okay? Hi, Dr. J. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So, y'all, I wanted to get into this topic. Y'all know the Diddy trial has been going on. We are now heading into week 3, okay? These last 2 weeks have been quite the roller coaster, okay? It's been a lot of things that are coming out that I don't think a lot of us knew. Hey, Ebony, welcome. We kind of had the gist of some things, but we didn't quite know some of the inner details of it, okay? And so I'm going to get into something after hearing Kid Cudi's testimony on Friday. And I'm going to go through some of the questions that they asked me in the courtroom and things like that. I started really, my little wheels started turning. And I started kind of thinking that Cassie, and I know she's pregnant. Let me just preface this by saying I don't agree with any of the DV things that took place, okay, with Diddy. But I don't think her hands were as clean and that she's so innocent either in a lot of this, to the point that I almost think that she needs to be a co-defendant on some stuff, okay? Some things really got tweaked, and y'all, I know it's not a popular opinion, and once I tell y'all why I feel a certain way, maybe you will understand, okay? Because there's some other people, I was having this conversation with some other people, and they were starting to wonder what happened with all of that too. This live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Now, one thing y'all may have heard of Gene Deal, which is a former security guard for Diddy, okay? He's been talking about a lot of this throughout the past years. He even has a book out, and some people believe him and some people don't, okay? Just the same with Jaguar Wright. Now, some things they said has come true, okay? And he actually traveled to New York to go to the trial. Now, I wanted to show a little video of some things that he was thinking about all of this. And y'all, it's something that he said that pretty much confirmed what I was thinking on a certain situation with Cassie as well, okay? So let me pull up that video, and then we're going to get into the conversation. Okay, here it is. Shout out to the Art of Dialogue for this video.
And they don't understand the racketeering and the criminal enterprise, all that set up to take everything that he's gained, everything that he owns. So what they're doing is now they're
This AI turns your ideas into complete, ready-to-sell digital products.
putting it together, the racketeering part of it, because now they're using Clone Global and Bad Boy Entertainment. They saying that's one and the same. You know what I'm saying? And when they do that, bruh, and they find that that's racketeering, that he used people in his company, you know, to do all these sexual acts, deeds and stuff like that, paying the prostitutes and everything like that. And they prove that, which they doing a hell of a job, a great job in proving that. I had to see, bro. I didn't want nobody to tell me. I didn't want to get it from no YouTuber. I didn't want to get it from no news. I wanted to be right there to hear the testimony of some of those people that was there.
Now, let me also say that while watching this, y'all, now I know it's a lot of the trial left, okay? In my opinion, Diddy let a lot of people do his dirty work, okay? I think he tried his best to keep his hands clean in a lot of things. But we probably all can guess that there are some things that he orchestrated, but he used other people to do it. So it is going to be up to the U.S. Attorney General's office to prove that, though, through his companies, all of that, because if his funds were used to get these ex-workers and things of that sort, they have to prove all of that. So that's why, you know, it's kind of early to say, because I've seen a lot of people saying, man, let him out. They're not even proving that. Well, y'all, we have laptops, things of that sort, that they're going to start talking about what they found on those laptops, on videos. He recorded everything in the house, okay? Freak offs and everything. So they have all kind of videos. So that's something that they're going to have to prove. But after hearing a lot of these people's testimonies, that's why the one assistant, y'all, he didn't want to be there. Okay, he still had high esteem for Diddy, but they offered him immunity right there, right when he got on the stand. Okay, because they wanted him to tell the truth. He still held back, in my opinion. I think he held back on a lot of stuff, but some of the things that he admitted to doing, I was like, wow. I do feel that, I don't know if they're going to ever say, but I feel like they probably offered Cassie immunity too, because she testified about a lot of things that she did, okay, for Diddy and for this whole getting the ex-workers, paying them, all of that. Okay, so I don't know if they're going to ever tell that. That's just my opinion on that she was offered that too.
So how was it? Take me through it.
Well, the prosecution did a great job. It was certain people, like, you see, I think her name Dawn, you know what I'm saying? She was in Danity Kane. She didn't do so well, but she didn't do bad, because what happened is that's this, and this is what people don't understand. She set an atmosphere of fear. And then people were saying this, bro. Oh, she went back once. She went back twice. She went back 8 times. She went back 20-some times to him. How could she be scared of him? No disrespect to Dawn for making this analogy. You got people that kick their dogs. You got people that beat their dogs. What do their dog do the next day? Come back and lick their hand. Because that person feeds them. That person is what gives them a house over their head, a roof over their head.
And I agree with that point, because that is a huge thing. Okay, people are saying, well, she could have just left. Why didn't she leave? Well, y'all, she actually did leave a couple of times. She was with other people. Kid Cudi, there was one time she was well, I think it wasn't, I don't know if they were dating or just kind of talking or whatever with Michael B. Jordan. And so she kept going back. Now, a lot of things that are something that she mentioned was Diddy, turn it down. Diddy was responsible for everything having to do with her life allegedly, her apartment, her car, her career. And I feel like if she would have left, what would have happened with those things? She didn't have money. Okay. She didn't have her own money yet during that time. And I think that that was a factor that kept pushing her back. That I need to make sure that I'm taken care of before I ever leave this relationship. Okay. And some of it is because in her mind, especially when she was younger, that she really loved him. She wanted to please him. Okay. So I agree with that. Dogs are very loyal. Not calling her a dog, but this is an example. Sometimes you have owners that are not good to those dogs. They still love them. They still want to be under them. Okay. So I got his point on this.
That person's the one who put water in their bowl, food in their bowl. See, what people don't understand about Puff is this, is that he held the entertainment grip, especially for the people who was his former artists, in a chokehold. If you didn't do what he say do, if he didn't like you, you would never ever work for Bad Boy or anybody in the entertainment business again.
Before Married America, Amy was struggling financially as a single parent. She worked as a truck operator.
He did it to Kirk Burrows. You understand? He did it to Wendy Williams. He did it to a lot of people, bruh. So now her going back.
Yeah, where is Whitney? I hope all is well with her. When he said that, I'm like, a lot of people were saying that with Wendy. Okay, Ebony, and I hope I said hi, Ebony. I can't remember, but welcome says, she said, plus Stockholm syndrome. Yes, the same way some people get kidnapped and held hostage for years and when given the chance, don't leave. Yeah, that's true. That's another thing as well that can happen to people. They even said that some of the girls with the R. Kelly situation were living there and they had the opportunity to leave. And some of them, their parents did take them home, but they wanted to go back. Okay, so that could definitely happen.
It's just wanted to
excuse me,
get food on her table, keep a roof over her head. Because nobody was probably telling her, yo, I can't work with you. I can't deal with you unless Puff say so. I'm not going to work with you. I'm not going to do anything because they didn't want to make him mad because he had enough power in the business to stop her. So then she was saying something about, well, she seen this dude one stop selling drugs. You know, oh, did you see him get cash? Who gave him the cash and stuff like that? The good thing that she said it, and then they said, oh, well, you really didn't see him and stuff like that, but she knew of it. They had people come back and say this guy one stop name, you know, so in their testimony. And they did a great job in their testimony. Like one of his PA's personal assistants did a great job in his testimony. And he said, yeah, I used to pay one stop for the drugs. You know, then we used to get the drugs to D-Rock. He used to have a case with all the drugs in it and stuff like that, hold a bag with all the drugs and everything and the money in and stuff like that. So now she mentioned that. So now the jury knows she's telling the truth about one stop giving people drugs. See, when people look at her, oh, her testimony was terrible. Her testimony, she didn't remember this, she didn't remember that. You ain't got to remember everything, but some of us have a great memory and we do. And I applaud her for even trying. You know what I'm saying? When in fact, you know what I'm saying, she's a person that is a victim. She's a victim, bro. You know, these people who was around him and had to work with him came out, and that's what you find in the trial, that they were being victimized. And people around them that was there saw it, didn't say nothing, and didn't do nothing.
If I'm not mistaken, Dunn, she testified that Diddy, he threw a skillet of eggs at Cassie, right?
Well, I don't know that was Dawn. What happened was
That was
one
done.
of the PAs, you know, his personal.
That was done because, baby, I did a short on that. You know, a lot of people were saying that it was kind of torn that, oh, it happened so long ago. Why are people harping on the eggs and situation, the egg situation? Well, it's not that it has to be exactly the same, but there should be some consistency to what you're saying. Okay, for example, this is what I mean because her testimony, I was like, oh my gosh, some of these witnesses that are for the U.S. are actually good for the defense. Okay, with her, girl, did he throw the skillet? Let's go there. Okay, either he threw the skillet or not. You can't have a story where, oh, he threw the skillet, then, oh, he did throw the skillet. Okay, pick which one on that part. Then you also have to pick, did he throw the eggs or not? You can't have, oh, he threw the eggs, oh, he did. You know, so that part was really messing her up. And what happens with that is it makes you not look credible to the jury because they're like, you only have your stories together, you know? So I think that actually went into the defense's favor with her testimony because poor thing, she tried. I give her kudos for trying, you know, her courage. And she also has a pending lawsuit going on. So they were bringing that up as well. Robert said, Albert Einstein said, the world's a dangerous place, not just because of evil people in it, but because of the people who do nothing about it. Ooh, Robert, you better say that again. Okay, because there was a lot of people around that didn't do anything. They turned a blind eye to it. Okay, the things that were taking place for different reasons. Okay, so yes, I agree with that.
Assistance. I think that was George something. I don't know his last name. I think that was George. He said he came in and he had a bowl of apples, and it was Gina. That this nigga was throwing a bowl, not to laugh, man. That he was just throwing them apples as hard as he can, hitting Gina with some apples, dog. That's like throwing a brick at somebody almost. And he was doing crazy shit like that, man. He threw
Want to know the secret of authentic content that performs everywhere, not just social? Let's be real. Today's
on the plane, what you was trying to say, he threw one of those hard, like it could have been a bourbon glass. You know those hard glasses that you have that you pour alcohol in? And speaking of alcohol, and we said bourbon, that's my alcohol right there. Want it. Get it in the stores. I got to promote it on your show, Mighty. It's wanted. Get it in the stores, y'all. It's coming real soon. We repackaging the bottle. We repackaging everything. And it's going, bourbons and cigars, man. I know you hate that. You're going to cut that, huh, Mighty? But anyway, man, to get back to the story, oh, he was on a plane and he throwing glasses at Cassie and then cursed her the F out and told her to go in the back of the plane and sit, and nobody said nothing. Yo, a lot of stuff is coming out in this trial, man, and there's no coming back from this. And I had to hear it and I had to see it. And I'm glad I heard it. No matter what the outcome is, and I swear for living Jesus, and I know this to be true. If he have any sense, he'll go to the prosecution with his defense team, and he'll tell them, yo, can I still get that 5 years? Can I still get that 5 years? But now he's at the point where it's that
Yes, Ebony, right. But in Diddy's case, the ones who did speak up or tried to speak on him, he silenced them forever. People were scared. Woo! Say that again. That is so true, y'all. Okay, we even talked the other night about Kamora's the fire in her house and who she insinuated was behind that. Then Kid Cudi, his car situation. You know, so a lot of people were silenced. Wendy Williams, okay, or they could be blackballed after she questioned his sexuality, okay, for a period of time when she was working at the radio station. When he came into her show for that interview when she had her talk show, she was still nervous, y'all. She was so nervous. Okay. I think a lot of these people know. Thank y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, y'all. A lot of these people know what he's capable of, allegedly. Okay. They know behind the scenes what he's done. We said this about the mom. She knows why he's like the way he is. Okay. She knows what's happened in his life. They know the kids know how he treated Kim. They probably seen and heard some things. So it's just a matter of it being proven. And a lot of people don't want to speak up because they've seen some of the other things as Kim was putting her book out. Now she popped up, just gone. Okay. So that's a very good point.
That if they prove this racketeering, they could take all his assets.
Yep.
And I think that's what they're shooting for now.
You gotta go ahead with it.
Because everything else basically is going to be proven or has been proven.
How did Diddy look appearance-wise?
Thinner. He tried to appear not worried, but I know he's worried. She tried to appear not worried, but he's worried, bro. You understand? You only see basically when you first come in, if you don't see him, you see him leaving when he's looking back or whatever like that, but you only see the back of his head. He didn't really turn that much or look that much, you know, back to the crowd or anything like that.
Is your child struggling with a gaming addiction? Major companies behind games like Minecraft, Fortnite.
So you could tell that it was him, and you know it was him because you know it's his trial, but you know, I never seen that much gray in his hair before in my life. You wouldn't even know. You think he was Papa Diddy. Papa Diddy Pop. Yo, he had so much gray in his hair, bro. So I don't understand why he just don't cut it down or cut it bald so you really couldn't tell like that. But I guess that's what he chose to do.
Kid Cudi, how you feel about him testifying against Diddy?
Well, he testified, and I think he was more. He was very entertaining. He had everybody laughing and shit like that. You know what I mean? But he testified to somebody coming in his house because he would leave his door open, and it was around Christmas time, and they
because I want to go to the transcript of, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to kind of talk through some questions that were asked of Kid Cudi and some things that were stated, and why some red flags started popping up into my mind, okay, while I was reading this or listening to it. Actually reading, I wasn't listening to it because I was following on CNN. Yes. Okay, let me pull that up. And also shout out to Inner City Press on TikTok. If y'all are not, and I'm not just a really big TikToker, but for this, y'all was like, I'm actually gonna look on both his and CNN. Okay, and then I get follow-ups on YouTube from Tisa Tales and Armand Wiggins. Okay, so Kid Cudi got on the stand. He had a leather jacket, white shirt, and blue jeans. And they asked him, what did you do for work? He said pretty much he's an actor, musician. He's known as Kid Cudi. They showed him a picture of Cassie, and he said, you know, it was Cassie. He said that they dated in 2011. And they asked him, who else was she involved with? And he said, Sean Combs. Now, they asked him, what did you know about their status? He said that she and Sean Combs had some problems and they weren't dating anymore. Okay, so allegedly, Cassie had told this man that she was not dating Sean Combs anymore. Okay, I want y'all to think about that because he's getting his info from her. He's getting it from her. Now, put a bookmark there, okay? So then they said in December 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? He said, yeah, I had a break-in. He said that Cassie called him at 5:30 or 6 a.m. Now that's early, okay? She said that Sean Combs had found out about them and she asked him to pick her up, so he did, okay? And they said, why? He says, because she was worried. And then they said, well, what was her demeanor? He said, very stressed and worried. Now, that would have put a red flag in my mind because if you are not dating someone, why are you worried? Why are you stressed? Okay, and what was the big deal that he did find out about y'all if y'all were not talking anymore? Okay, that was a potential red flag right there at the beginning of their relationship. Her and Kid Cudi. So then he says, where did you go? They asked him, where did you go? He said, the Sunset Marquee. They said, why? He said, I thought it was safe off the radar. Okay. Then after that, they asked him, who else did you speak with? And he says, Capricorn Clark. She sounded near tears. Okay, now Capricorn Clark is supposed to actually testify Tuesday, if y'all have not heard, because she was supposedly in the car during this break-in. Okay, now let me also say something else on this part. Cassie called him to come and get her. She had given Diddy Kid Cudi's address. Okay, so my thing is, Cassie, it just doesn't look good on this little part for sure. It doesn't look good. I almost look at it as in she was pretty much using Kid Cudi as a rebound. Okay, maybe they were having problems, and now you the guy with Kid Cudi, and he's in a crossfire that he knows nothing about. Because you told him, according to his testimony, that y'all are no longer together, you and Diddy. Okay? So now that puts him in this potential situation that he didn't know he was getting into. Because you would not be that worried and stressed over someone finding out that you're not dating. Okay? So then they asked him, well, what did Capricorn Clark say? He said that Sean Combs was in the car near his house. Okay. And then they asked him, did you call Sean Combs? He said he did. He said that he was over at his house waiting for him. They said, well, when you arrived, what did the outside look like? He said pretty normal. Did he have any cameras? He did, but he found out that the cameras weren't working. The security cameras, he stated, had been moved. Okay. They asked him, did you move them? He said no. Then when he got inside of his house, he stated that some of his gifts had been opened. So Diddy was in this man's house, y'all. Some of the gifts that he had, because this was around Christmas, were open. Some stuff he had gotten from Chanel. And his dog was locked up in the bathroom. Like, Diddy, you wrong for what you did to that dog. Okay. Hey, PM. Welcome, Kathleen. Thank y'all for joining. Well, Cuddy did say he felt played by. Hello? Okay, after hearing more details, I agree with him on that. Okay, I'm telling you. So then, y'all, they done locked the dog up in the bathroom. Diddy and I don't know if it's how many security guards or whoever was in there. Okay. He said he usually lets his dog roam about. He had that dog for like 3 years. So after all of this breaking in situation, he said that his dog got jittery and was on edge all the time. So I don't know if they tried to scare the dog or what. Okay, but the dog wasn't the same after that. So then he said he got back in and called Sean Combs again. He said he was looking for him and he wanted to fight him. Okay. They asked, did he answer? He said, yeah. He said, I'm on my way. And let's see. They did an objection to a new question. Okay. So then they had to, it was overruled. The question was thrown out. So then they said, well, when you saw Cassie, how did she seem? He says, depressed. Did you see her in Connecticut? He said, yes, she needed it. And then did Mr. Combs call you? He said, yes. He had hit him up a few times and he had to clarify, called him and said that he wanted to talk to him. Now, Cuddy said that he wanted to talk to him because he broke into his house and he hurt his dog. And then they asked him, well, did you and Miss Ventura break up? He said, yes. And what about the car? He said, my dog's babysitter had called me and told me that my car was on fire. Now I'm going to pause there for a second. Y'all, all these years, I thought that car had been blown up to the point it was unrecognizable into bits and pieces. Okay. They showed us the picture of the car. It had a hole in the top and a piece of the driver's side seat was burnt. What kind of blow up was that? Karen said, but Cassie knew the extent of what Puffy could do to both of them. Yes, she did. I agree with that. She did. Which is why, because she said that she had to get a whole burner phone to talk to Cuddy, you know, because she didn't want Diddy to find out. But see, with that, even with that, it looks like you're still with him and you're putting someone else's life into danger. Let's think about the pattern, okay? When she was 17, 18, she was with Ryan Leslie, famous, had a lot of money, okay? And I want everyone to know, you know, I don't have anything against Cassie, but it's just certain patterns that I'm noticing and some things that stand out to me. And so then after that, while she's with him, she sees Diddy and she, goes for Diddy. Okay. They start dating and all of this with Diddy. And then all of a sudden y'all break up on the outs. Then you're with Kid Cudi. Okay. But I feel like everything is centered around Diddy. How can I make him jealous? Okay. Who can I do this with? And now you're with this guy. And I think he's unaware because she told him that they were not together. But did Diddy know that y'all weren't together? Because why is he so bothered by who you're dating? You see what I'm saying? Like, that could be very confusing. So there definitely is a pattern. So then after Diddy, she's with the trainer and then ends up leaving the trainer. And now she's married to him. Diddy paid for her to get training from that trainer too. Okay, so there was definitely a pattern. Yes, I feel like it was playing a dangerous game. And then also, y'all, this is something else that came to mind. Remember that Diddy had allegedly told her that he was going to do a 10-album deal. Okay, she wasn't being paid the way she should have been paid. He took care of everything, her car, apartment, all of that, right? In her heart, I feel that she kept going back for that reason, at first, in the beginning, she probably really did love him and she wanted that lifestyle. She wanted her dream to come true. She wanted the money that comes with that. Now, I think once she got involved and all this other stuff started happening, uh things started changing. She probably did want to get out of this relationship, but because he controlled everything according to her, how was she going to pay for everything? Okay. You can't go from that lifestyle going to work at a drop-in restaurant. Okay. It's going to be quite hard. So this is my theory. I don't, this is my opinion. I feel that after a while, in order to get paid, I feel like she knew she had to gather proof and evidence on what was really taking place. And I think that she gathered that proof. So when things did not work out and she was really done, she wrote the tell-all book, okay? And I think she probably knew about Kim's book too. She at least wanted to give him the rights to the book for $30 million. He said people were not going to take her book seriously. Okay. Now, Kim's, I think he knew people would take it seriously. When she saw that did not work, all that proof and evidence that she had, let me go ahead and turn it in. Let's do the lawsuit because I'm going to get paid. Okay. She turned over laptops. She was ready with all kind of proof, recordings, everything. Turned it over and settled within 24 hours. It was that good. It must have been that good for him to want to settle that fast. Okay. Then here comes the other 10 million from the hotel where the viral video that some people were saying was leaked. I don't know if it was leaked or not. Okay. That comes out and the hotel now settles with her last month, I think, or the beginning of this month for 10 million. So the 30 million that she wanted, it probably got way more than she would have gotten for a 10 album deal. She got her money. Okay. She's with her husband and kids now. Because if she had left with nothing, what would she have done? So she knew after a while, she knew what he was capable of, what he was doing, the inner workings. She gathered her proof and evidence. Karen said she was both afraid of him and in love with him. Yes, and I do think to a certain degree, she still is. If he was to say, hey, let's work this out, I'll help you take care of your kids, hey, she might go back. That's my opinion. Yeah, why go back to somebody that's toxic? It's not worth it. Some people feel like, hey, it's probably the advantages and benefits that they receive from that person. And some, he broke her down too, y'all. In the beginning, her confidence, even her friends stated that he broke her down. She was no longer herself. So he did a number on her. I'm not saying that he didn't, but there was also some other motivations, in my opinion, that pushed her to keep going back until she got what she needed. Trying to find someone who wasn't playing with Diddy, someone she could trust or a savior. Right. I think her little tail got smart at some point. PM. Okay. I think she did. And that's my opinion. I think she did. I just don't like this Kid Cudi situation. Let me tell y'all, let me read a little more of it, and I'm going to tell y'all my thoughts on this part also. Okay, aside from her finally getting a little smart to get her evidence, it was something else that stood out to me with this Kid Cudi situation. Now, when the car was on fire, they asked him, where was he? He said that, or blew up, a relative of his ex-girlfriend. And they said, well, where did you go? He said he went back to his house. And then they showed him pictures of his Porsche. Okay, he had a Porsche. It was done with a Molotov cocktail. Okay, and they asked him who took the photos. He said Chip, a good friend and a collaborator. And there was a hole that was cut in the roof of his car. And I'm like, people had time to do all of this, and nobody told nobody was watching in the neighborhood or things like that. I just wow. So then they said, well, what was your reaction to your car being set on fire? He said, what the F? And then they did an objection. Let's see what else. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So then they asked, was the damage on your car present before the call from the dog sitter? Because the dog sitter called him and told him about it. He said no. They asked him, do you think it was accidental or intentional? He said intentional. Okay. And my thing is, I want to know what made him say it was intentional. And then they asked him, where did you last see Miss Ventura? And he said, at Soho House. He reached out to Sean Combs and said, let's talk. This is getting out of hand. Now, this is going to get interesting because he's calling Diddy to meet. Okay. So then they said, who set up the meeting? He said D-Rock and his manager did. D-Rock is Diddy's bodyguard. And they asked him, what was Mr. Combs doing? He said, oh, just standing there like a Marvel super villain. Y'all, that tickled me when he said that, because I could see him acting big and bad. So then he said, we were homies, that is my girl. And he said, what did you say? He said, I thought you had broken up. Then Sean Combs offered him some water twice. Okay. So wait a minute. So now that's why I said when she was saying, oh, we broke up. Well, I said, well, did he know that y'all had broken up? Because he was saying it like they were still together. So I don't know what Diddy had in his water, but he asked him, did he want some water 2 times? And both of those times, Kid Cudi said no. So I don't know what was in the water. It was weird, okay, that he kept offering him that water. And he thought, Kid Cudi said it was weird that he was being so calm. And they asked him, well, what did Cassie say? He said that we had, hold on 1 second. Let me see what y'all said. Let's see. So the Bell said, I believe she kept going back out of fear. Diddy was a devilish pimp. Okay. Robert, she was young and foolish. Good night. Young and foolish, afraid and in love. Yes, I can see that too. Please hit the like button. Let everyone know we are live. Robert said, if you ain't got nothing to give yourself, how you gonna have it to give to somebody else? Yes. D-Rock was Biggie's friend. Oh, woo. Okay. Turn it down. Hey, no more drama. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Okay. So then Cassie says that they had fallen in love and things just happened. And then they asked, well, what did you say to Combs? He said, well, what about my car? And then he gonna say, I don't know what you're talking about, and walked away. And so then they said that, well, did you see him later on? And he said a few years later at Soho House, and he said, I'm sorry for all that BS. I was surprised. So he was surprised. So he found peace with it. And then they said no further questions. That was the US. So my thing is, Cassie played. They're gonna ask him, do you feel like Cassie played both of y'all? And in my opinion, she did. Okay. Hi, Bless from Texas. Good evening. Welcome. Robert said red flags are a sign for you to get out of the abuse. Right. Diddy was probably calm because he knew that water was going to do him in. Oh, come on, Karen. Okay. That's a good point. But he didn't take it. So here Cassie is at the meeting. What you doing here? Because I was speaking with Diddy. And so, y'all, I started thinking, since Cassie gave Diddy the address, did Cassie call him at the hotel and say, come to the hotel so that Diddy could go and have access to that man's house? I'm just saying it's a wondering. Okay. Did she call him? And I would hope that you didn't set this man up. Okay. I really would hope that that is not what happened. But it was very suspect that she had given the address and then she had called this guy. And it's almost like Diddy knew when to go. Okay. Because I don't know. That was a bad vibe there, y'all. And I truly feel that she probably in her heart felt for the moment, I'm gonna get away from this. And she was fooling with Kid Cudi, but her heart was still with Diddy. I feel like everything was revolved around him. And yeah, there was a level of fear probably, but I don't know, she had her chance to get out several times, but she kept going back after that. Okay. So then let me let y'all listen to what Gene did. I wanted to kind of touch on that first before he goes into his reaction to that testimony.
Took all the gifts out the rappers. He didn't say they took the gifts. You know what I'm saying? I can't recall he said they took the gifts. They just took them off the rappers. I guess they was looking for something. I don't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? They locked his dog in the another room. You understand? They didn't really ramshack anything like that. You know, ain't terrible nothing like that. And then he testified to somebody allegedly Diddy bombing his car, but he didn't say Diddy until the end. You know, he said that him and Diddy was having a lot of beefs and problems because he had found out that he was talking with Cassie, and him and Cassie was dealing with each other. So he was acting like that he wanted to fight Diddy. He was going to meet Diddy so they could have a one-on-one. He was going to fight Diddy. And he said Diddy was standing up there in the middle. He was at this big window, and he was standing in the middle like he was some kind of superhero, some kind of Avenger or something like that, with his hand behind his back. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I thought that was really entertaining. And then the prosecution went on and had him describe the stuff that Cassie was going through. And did he ever see Cassie with bruises and scars on her and stuff like that? He testified yes. He testified that she told him it came from Diddy. He testified that when him and Cassie stopped dealing with each other and stuff like that, his car ended up blowing up. But Diddy didn't know they had stopped dealing with each other. And so then the prosecution asked him, like, yo, did you believe him when he told you that he didn't blow up your car? He said, nah, I knew he was lying. You understand? But I thought it was funny where he said he was going to fight Diddy. I don't think he would have had a chance with Diddy. My own personal opinion. But who knows? After all the drugs and alcohol, Diddy probably wasn't the same dude he was in the 90s and early 2000s. And I know people gonna say, yo, Diddy only beat women and shit like that. I seen him took some niggas down. I seen him took some big guys down, some guys a little bit bigger than him. You understand? He knows who to mess with, I guess. But I seen some dudes who thought they had him and grabbed him, and he ended up slamming them. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. I know people gonna say, you know, be trolling like, yo, this, that, and the third. But I don't think the average dude gonna run up on him and think that he ain't gonna defend himself. And because he can and he will. You know, the one I knew. You know, there's so many different.
No more drama in my excuse me, in my opinion. I don't think he'll get life or anything like that. Hopefully they will be able to prove the RICO with more evidence. If anything, it would be for the prostitution type of situation, paying for that. So 10 years or less. That's my guess. But don't quote me because we haven't seen all of the evidence yet. But I don't see a life type of situation. I mean, R. Kelly got 30 years. He got 27 more to go. It's a hard thing though, y'all. It's hard. That would be a hard one. I don't know. Yes, I think they are going for that. So if they get that, it'll be up there with R. Kelly about 30 years. Okay, hi the unknown round, welcome. But if they don't present enough evidence for that, he may get 10 or less for the other stuff. Because he was trying to keep his hands clean.
It's the Puff Daddy, the Diddy, the Love, the Brother Love.
Y'all sniffing.
You know, there's so many different people inside this month. You never know. So I know one thing that I don't believe if I had to put my house up, my money up, you know what I'm saying? And Puff heyday, I would go with Puff. I would go with him. Against a dude that's gonna wear a dress.
Right. So you was up there when Kid Cudi testified. You ain't tell me that, yeah.
No, bro. I came into court, but I had to go to the it was late, so I had to go to they had the overflow court. You know what I'm saying? When you don't come early, you have to go to the overflow court. So most of my time was in the overflow court. And that's why I seen the Kid Cudi, the last of all the what you call it? The Kid Cudi was off, and then all the other people, the Psych, the the makeup artist, and the personal assistant, the makeup artist, the Psych, and computer genius. I mean the computer investigator for the feds. And I seen the rest of those.
From the testimony that Kid Cudi gave, do you think it was a bad look for Diddy? You think it's going to have an effect on Diddy winning the case?
None of it's a good look for him, but it would affect him in a matter whereas that people are building an atmosphere. Whereas that if he didn't do it, his enterprise, people from his enterprise did. People from where he worked, that's what the racketeering come in at. He had people that worked for him to do his dirty deeds. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where that come in at. So his testimony of somebody doing this stuff because he was dealing with Cassie helps the racketeering case for the government. Because he had people that work for him that he's paying to do things like that for him.
And y'all, I don't know. Let me pause for a second. I don't know if y'all saw my video the other day, but we were talking about the history of his father and where he was raised. And his father was a drug dealer. Y'all know what I'm saying? And he got caught up when he was doing a deal one time. They mistake him for an informant to the police, and he ended up getting shot and unalived. Okay. I often wonder after Diddy found out what happened with his father, is that one reason why he doesn't go out and get the rugs? Like he sends his assistants, okay, Cassie, okay, to go and pick up things and so forth. And while he's at home chilling with his bodyguards, he put people out front. He even had an extra car. When he would go out, they said that he always went with 2 cars so that one car would be on his right so that he was very, I guess, nervous and didn't want to get assassinated. Okay. So that probably had an impact on the level of security that he kept. Yes, Kathleen, a lot of them got immunity because they all were probably doing a lot of his dirty work. I agree.
The jury was looking that Kid Cudi did a great job. You could tell the jury was entertained by Kid Cudi, bro. Not only were they entertained, you know, because some of them, you know, they try to keep a straight face if they laughed in the whole 9 yards. But what happens is this. They believed him. They believed him. And they was waiting for the defense to jump on top of Kid Cudi like they jumped on all the rest of the people as far as Dawn and the people that testify, you know what I'm saying, against Diddy, that was going at Diddy. And what happened was when the lawyer got ready to do the redirect to go at Kid Cudi, Puff told him no. And the jury saw that, bro. The jury saw that. Puff's like, nah, don't ask him no more questions. Now he paying all these lawyers all this money to defend him. And that's what that narcissism come in at. Like he know everything. I don't know what he thought they would have pulled out of him or said or stopped or he was killing him or whatever it was Kid Cudi was doing up there. He didn't want to hear or see no more of it. Well, he told his own lawyers, don't redirect, don't say nothing. So they ain't even question Kid Cudi. And that's crazy because what a lawyer wants to do, all lawyers wants to do is get the last word. The last word. They want to go at them and get the last word to make sure that their client is all right. But when Puff did that, you should have seen the face on those jurors' face when he did that. I think that's going to be one of the things that bury him, to make them believe that he directed everybody to do the things that happened. I can't believe that he stopped his lawyers, bro. He stopped his lawyers for doing a redirect on Kid Cudi so they could try to, you know, have the jury thinking a different way. But I guess because Kid Cudi was so entertaining that it made him feel like he wasn't the main focus in the room anymore. Something.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Linda said, so does that make it right? No, I don't think it makes it right. If this is true, all involved should be charged. If it's against the law, that's crazy. Right, Linda, that's what I was saying earlier. I said that it needs to be more people up there with Diddy. Okay? Like a lot of the things that Cassie was saying, y'all, I'm being honest. I said she needs to be over there as a co-defendant. Aside from her, you know, being pregnant, I get it, and all of that. Yes, she went through the abuse part, but she also had her hands dirty in a lot of this. And I'm not excusing Diddy because he needs to be a part of it too. Let's see. Yeah, so I agree, Linda. I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, a lot of them had their hands dirty in this, and I don't know if y'all are just coming in. I was just saying that I just truly feel that in the beginning, Cassie was young. She had high hopes and dreams to get her album going. She kind of fell in love with Diddy and kind of did her thing, but then it turned into this grooming type of abusive situation, and he got a lot of control and broke her down, you know, allegedly at the beginning of that relationship. But then after she saw, because she said that he controlled everything, car, everything, right? If she left, what would she leave with? Nothing. Okay. Yeah, she has a part too, right? Um, Oh, PM, really? Hi, Jasmine. Really? That's what I was saying earlier. I said, now they haven't said that part. Um, but I'm thinking that they had to have given her some type of immunity to think she was sharing. Okay. So, oh wow. I would believe it. And I feel that if she left, I think in her mind, well, what do I get? You're not getting the album for sure, the album deal, and you're not gonna get the money, right? So I think after a while, because she knew the things that were going on, like PM said, she got a little smarter. She started keeping records, recordings, evidence. Okay. So when she finally decided to leave, she wanted to do her book deal, sent him a copy, and he didn't take it seriously. So I guess she said, "Oh, you're not gonna give me my 30 million? Okay, I got another way to get it." Okay. Bam. Filed the lawsuit. Had all of this different type of evidence that she turned in. He settled within 24 hours. It must have been some good evidence. Okay. She got 20 million. Now, that video at the hotel that was put out there, some people were saying allegedly was leaked. The hotel just settled with her earlier, I think this month, and she got the other 10. That's the amount she wanted anyway. It's from Diddy. Okay. What happened to the book? Because guess what? I would have still put the book out. I don't care what he said. Now, unless it's a stipulation in the settlement saying that she couldn't put the book out, then okay, I understand. But if you were big on what, doing the book, just put the book out. Why did you give him the book to say, "Oh, I'll give it to you for 30 million"? No, put your book out. But like someone said, no, the settlement is quicker money than if she would have put the book out. If she would have put the book out, yeah, she probably would have gotten some sales, but I don't think it would have been 30 million. Okay. So she started wising up and started keeping some stuff because they said that she surrendered voluntarily evidence, laptops, and things of that sort. Southern Bell said the prosecution will often grant immunity to get who they want. Yes. And y'all forgive me for being so nasally tonight. My allergies. Diddy, in my opinion, did what happens to so many artists in the industry. They get them hooked on rugs. Oh, yes. I agree. Brittany said it's crazy. Everyone that is around P. Diddy comes up unalive. Oh, Brittany, okay. That has happened. Even her mom took pictures of her bruises when she went to visit. Yes, she did. And Tisa tells y'all she was had tears when she was telling us about it. She said Cassie looked, oh my gosh, on those pictures. She said it was so sad. And I can only imagine on that abuse part. I don't condone the abuse part. No one deserves that. Hey, Cherry, welcome. She knew exactly what she was doing. I believe that, Linda, on some of that stuff, she knew what she was doing. To be honest, Cassie only had a one-hit wonder. Right, Brittany? But I pray that she gets justice from her abuse repeated. Okay, Brittany, I'm telling you, she came up. Okay, that 30 million was probably worth more than what she would have gotten for her albums because I really only remember one song. I think even Diddy didn't want to tell her the girl. Okay. I'm telling you. He probably didn't want to tell her that I don't think this gonna work out like that, like you thinking it is. Hi, Rebecca. Hey, Brittany. Diddy is a shrewd businessman. He just underestimates people, especially women. Yes. Oh, y'all, and I forgot to tell y'all, for those of you who didn't know, the defense said Kid Cudi did he know about the DNA test on that car. Well, come to find out, the DNA was that of a woman. So that makes it even harder to prove that Diddy did it. We know he probably was behind the scenes, but I want to know what woman would have done that. Jasmine said her mom is a paralegal assistant or something like that. So I'm sure she was advising Cassie on what to do. Oh, really? I'm telling you, she had her ducks in a row by the time she got serious. She had evidence and everything. I believe she knew that would be the ticket to get her money after a while. And people were like, well, why did she stay? Why did she stay? If she would have left, and I'm not saying don't stay in a relationship, an abusive relationship for money, y'all. Okay. But if she would have left and he controlled everything and she didn't have money, because I would have been stacking my cash if he gave some money, baby, please. I would have been stacking that cash. But it seemed like from the way she talks about it, he kept a tight leash on her and watched everything. But Kim was saying that even she felt that her house was wired. Okay. Well, someone was listening to her phone calls, tapped phone calls, and things like that. So, hey, he got some stuff that, hey, he got people to do some high up stuff. I don't condone abuse either, but accountability is something that she needs to work on or it will continue. I agree. Yes. She was just a pretty face and she got caught up in doing rugs. Yep. She did leave, but then asked her mom for 20K. Who asked the mom? Yes, she left several times, Brittany, but she ended up coming back. Yeah, she did. That's what I was saying earlier, too. She didn't leave. She left a couple of times, but then ended up going right back. And Diddy is the one that asked the mom for some of his money back that he spent on her, or he was going to pretty much release some of the compromising footage, okay, of her daughter. Now, some people don't look at that as extortion, but to me, that is, okay? So she had to take out a home equity loan, sent him the 20K, but then he sent it back to her, I think a few days later. Yeah, Diddy asked the mom. And I would have felt some type of way. My daughter, little girl, I'm up here, we done got a home equity loan, and you done went back to this guy after I done took pictures and all of that stuff. And see, it could have been even that time that they had a conversation about the proof that she was going to need, because guess who she's going up against? Diddy. So if you come out of this, you better come out with some evidence of the things he's doing. And that's what she did. And that's how she collected her money. Okay, Jasmine said, me personally, I don't think I could have did all that she endured. He did a whole humiliation ritual on her. Right. Me neither. Hey, Terry, welcome. Thank you so much. Right. That's probably when her and the mom got smart. Yep. Okay, PM. We thinking. She got smart about it, y'all. She started thinking, okay, about how was she gonna get out of this and have some money while getting out of it. Exactly. She kept going back to the source of pain, looking for pleasure. So is it his problem or hers? Right. I get it. People that are addicted, you'll never know why they go through the things that they do. Right. Because it was more about the rugs, it was a lot involved. The rugs, her wanting to please him. And then it became a motivation of, when I leave, what am I leaving with? He controls everything. Where am I going to stay? And y'all get this. Okay. Because the defense brought this up. Now, Diddy had paid for her personal trainer, which is her current husband, right? He had paid for that. When they got married, they ended up living with her parents. And they were like, well, weren't you living with your parents? Because that guy, I don't believe he has money like Diddy. Okay, so now you're with this guy and y'all don't have a lot of money. She was supposed to also go on tour. Okay, so that's when the Tell All book came out. Diddy said it's a no. So she like, oh shoot. And that's when the lawsuit was filed. And then after that, she even canceled her tour. So they probably needed some money too. Okay, going into a new marriage. And that guy probably is not a millionaire. Okay. No, Brittany, we probably gonna go somewhere. I wouldn't have done the rug. She just wanted to be a star so bad, right? And he was, y'all, man, the power and influence that he had too could have scared her as well. She was young. Okay. And if she was on the inside and seeing some things that he was capable of, it probably did scare her. Karen said, no matter what is the verdict, I think she will forever have to look over her shoulder. Oh, Karen, that is so true. Because I was praying for their safety. When she was doing all the testifying, I was like, ooh, because she was telling some stuff. You know what, Rebecca? I think so far, like the prostitution, paying for that and all of that, at this point, maybe 10 years or less. Now, if they can prove the RICO and things like that, probably 30, like R. Kelly. Yes, that speaks volumes, Linda. I'm telling you. Yes. And that's why they brought that point up, too. He is a celebrity trainer, so no, not money like Diddy. Right. Okay. What have I gotten myself into? I got out of the relationship, but we need some money. Okay. So I guess you just got evidence lying around. Okay, you got laptops, everything just lying around. Well, let me go ahead and file me a lawsuit. Okay. Baby. Because what makes it look suspect on that part, y'all, is the fact that, yes, I believe that too, Linda, is the fact that she wrote a book, a tell-all book, and sent him a copy, asking him to buy the rights to the book for $30 million. If she had just put the book out and saw where it fell, see what the sales, how much, the revenue was from that, I probably would be like, okay. But when he said, no, they're not going to take you seriously, and her next move was a lawsuit, then to me, that looks suspect. Okay? Because now you popping out all this stuff you've been holding on to. Let's see. What did PM say? Open book 10 plus years is life for Diddy. He in his mid-50s. Okay. Oh, yeah, Kathleen. The best part is yet to come. Because then, y'all, they're going to have to show what all. I wonder when we find out about the celebrities and stuff on those videos. I don't think they're going to show us the videos. But what are some other things that have happened behind the scenes? Okay. Now, this girl, Capricorn Clark, she was on the inside too. And I want to know if she's going to testify about being in that car while Diddy had broken into Kid Cudi's house, and how she had called Kid Cudi and was nervous and things like that. Is she going to testify to that? Or is she going to hold back? How much will she tell? That's another thing. Some of them, like the sisters, they're nervous. Okay, because they got to go back to their regular lives after they testify. So it's only so much they're going to tell. They know that if you snitch, okay, in a big way, hey, that's probably why some of them hold back. The husband helped in her sobriety, and I'm sure he advised her in taking Diddy down. Ooh, woo, y'all, okay. Y'all really thinking. I didn't think about that, Southern Belle. Diddy knows she's the major player in this, and if he gets convicted, what kind of rage will he have? And he still has what's property? Was that property? Yeah, Karen. Yeah, true open book. Do the tell-all book like Kim Porter did. He didn't make it, and she passed away. Yes, because we're still waiting on the real book. Okay, the other one kind of had some stuff in it, but it wasn't the real book, they said. So look what happened to her. That's weird. I just think he didn't think we would take Cassie seriously. Kim, we knew how much he cared about her first. And that's the mother of his children. And for her to say certain things, I think he knew we would take that book seriously and the things that were put in there. So he didn't want that to get out. He really did not want that to get out. And y'all, I'm so curious to know if that will one day get out. I really want to know what's in the real manuscript. Right, Jasmine, an 8-week trial. That is a lot of money. And he still has other lawsuits that are pending while he's in jail. Okay, so he probably has moved a lot of money. And y'all, someone, I forgot who came into my chat yesterday, they threw a whole little wrench into what we were talking about and said, what if, was that Humble Me? What if the whole lawsuit thing between Cassie and Diddy was a here, hold this till I get out type of situation? Okay. Never thought about that. That would be something else. Okay, knowing his money was about to be tied up, and that's 20 million of it there. And they said that he started putting stuff into his son's names, his mother's name. Okay, hey Beverly. Okay, I was like, Lord, if that woman go back to that man, I would hope not. If all this works out, that would be crazy to go back. So, and then Gina, she was supposed to be a witness, and I don't think they can find her to know if she's going to testify. Well, at this point, there's no need for Kim's book because all this freaky stuff has been told. Exactly. If I was him, I would be so embarrassed sitting there. I would just say, give me a cap to put on because I don't even want nobody to see me. All of this stuff he's done and coming out, just nasty. Okay. The nastiness of it all. It is like too much. And if he does get out, y'all, his friends, they gonna look at, well, hey, because some of them were there. So I was gonna say some of them gonna look at him weird, like, dude, come on, like you was doing all that, but some of them were there. Okay, when he was doing all of that. We know Diddy still has family and loyal people to do his bidding. That's why I said she would have to look over her shoulder forever. Okay, Karen, you are saying some good stuff. Right, nasty work. I don't think that's the situation. Cassie is the one who kind of set all this off. Yes, Jasmine, I agree. I agree. I do feel that was the way for her to get her money that she thought she was getting in the beginning. It was a way for her to get it. It was sad that it took all of that to happen for her to get it. You know, she went through a lot. A lot. I mean, just the, oh, Lord have mercy. Just some of the details and things. It's, oh, poor thing. I just hate that part. Let's see. Brittany said he doesn't care. He put up a heart. Yes, right. The little hearts. Yeah, give me a bandana, a cap, or something to put over my face, in my head. Okay, because I wouldn't even want to be seen sitting in court with all this stuff that's coming out and the freaky stuff they're talking about. Like, it would have been a request. You know what, Kathleen? His children are trying to stand by his side through this, but those boys know a lot. I'm pretty sure they know a lot. Also, his daughters, I think he's tried to protect them from a lot of stuff, but they're not dumb. They're very smart. I'm pretty sure they've seen a lot on the internet. And I'm also thinking that they've seen a lot in-house when he was with Kim. His daughters are living their lives like nothing is going on right. They just graduated. Unless they're like really putting up a big front, they actually look happy. Okay. They've gone to prom. They've graduated. Every time I see them, they're looking happy. The only time they weren't looking happy was leaving that courtroom, that courthouse. Okay. Other than that, on social media, they are living their lives. And I'm so happy. I'm really happy for them on that. His daughters are beautiful, looks just like him. Yes, they do. Brittany said the twins said they don't want to go to college. Oh, well, their dad, I guess, is a current multimillionaire. Long as they have a plan. So we don't know how this is about to go. Okay. Long as maybe he has some money set up for them that can't be touched. I mean, hey, I can say this. He had some prep time. He knew what was coming. People started preparing. Okay. When all this stuff started coming out before he was even locked up, he had some prep time to get some things situated, to get money, allocated, put wherever he needs to put it, and all of that. He not done. Because there's no way I would have left my money. Just, let me keep my money in my account, knowing you about to go to jail for some big stuff like this. Probably gave the twins their money. Okay, each got an account. The sons got an account. Probably spread it all out so they can be taken care of. You know what, Kathleen? Hey, who knows? Who knows? But they look happy. Every time I see them, they actually look happy. So we're going to see, y'all, where this goes. The court resumes this Tuesday. They have tomorrow off. So it resumes this Tuesday. I would definitely be locked in. Okay. Keep y'all in the know on some things that stand out. But it's a roller coaster. It's about to get up. I know Kim is looking down at her children and smiling besides the boys. Right. Yeah, and I'm just curious at some of the witnesses, y'all, that they're going to bring. Because they are trying not to release the list too soon, or too soon in advance to protect the witnesses. Okay. So they're letting us know a little at a time about who's up next and so forth. So Capricorn Clark is supposed to testify Tuesday, according to CNN. And so she should know a lot of information. We're going to see, though, how much she's willing to reveal. That's the thing, y'all. We can get some top witnesses, but who is their loyalty going to be towards? How much will they reveal? Okay, for the sake of their lives. That's going to be the issue. And that's where it comes where the U.S. is going to have to really have some hardcore evidence, because some of these people may not want to just freely talk. Or if they get some immunity, it's still, even with that, okay, some of them may still be afraid to really, really go into details. So we'll see. But I appreciate you all so much for being here on today. Thank y'all for joining. I hope you all have a great evening. Make sure you hit the like. Jasmine said, any thoughts on I'll Be Sure, son? Like what? What part, Jasmine? Because I believe, he knows. He knows what's going on. His mom tried to protect him as much as she could. Because according to, what was I looking at the other day? Dog. Was that I'll Be Sure saying it? I don't want to get it wrong. But it was almost like Kim had told I'll Be Sure to just leave it alone. Pretty much, like, for her son's safety and his. To not really push the fact that his son comes to stay with him and all of that. Because I think his mom was really trying to protect both of them. Because I think at one point, I don't want to say it because I don't want to get it wrong, but it was almost like a threat made. And so, I don't know. I hope his son understands why he wasn't just in his life a lot, and that they can have a conversation. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Yeah, he does seem to support Diddy. Yep, he does. But Jasmine, this is the thing. If the evidence ever comes out that he did something to their mom, that's going to turn all of his kids against him. Now, they probably see the conspiracy theories and YouTube content creators talking about those things, but there's no proof yet. If there's ever some proof, oh my goodness. Okay. Hey, Nita, welcome. So that's going to be a hard situation. Make sure if y'all have not subscribed and you're watching for the first time, make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Let's see. Yes, I know. Open book, it would break their, it would definitely break their hearts. Let's do it. Okay. It would definitely break their hearts. We'll do it on the next one. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining. Y'all have a great evening. And I may come live tomorrow with another topic. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. With another topic. So make sure you set your notifications. If I don't talk to you all tomorrow, if you're not on here, have a happy Memorial Day. Eat plenty of barbecue. Go chill at the park. Enjoy the fireworks, however you celebrate. Okay. Thank you, Brittany. I love you all. And until next time, peace out.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.